friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm starting a new occasional series here on the channel. It's going to be called Booklist Thursday. That's the title that I'm giving it, which means that these videos will probably come out on Thursdays. Please don't hold me to saying that the video will come out every Thursday. But when they do come out, it will be a Booklist Thursday. That's the plan. That's the goal. That's something that I want to do in the second half of 2022. So Booklist Thursday, we're going to be going through a book list, and I'll share with you the books that I've read, and hopefully in the comments down below you'll tell me which books you've read and we can compare scores. And also maybe you could give me recommendations. If I say that I really want to read a book that appears on this list and maybe you've read it and you say, well, I don't think so, or yes, this is a book that you should read right now. Put down whatever else you're reading and pick it up. Give me that hype as well. So yeah, today's Booklist Thursday video, today's list is a summer reading list because it is summer. And one of the things that used to happen to me during the summer, when I was in high school, when I was in college, no, not college. When I was in school, when I lived in Jamaica, my mom would always give me a reading list. Usually the schools would give you a book that you should read before you come back to school for the fall semester. But my mom's a teacher, which means that my reading list was always double or triple or just, many times the length of the recommended reading length. So, because we are here for BookTube, I thought I'd go through a high school reading list. Some publications, New York Times publishes a summer reading list. The New York Library publishes a reading list. The Time Magazine, Oprah. A lot of publications have their own version of a summer reading list, but a lot of those are new books, which means they're books that they are encouraging you to read this summer. But it's difficult for us to go through that list and say, well, how many of these have you read? Because a lot of us don't read new releases right away. I don't. Even when the publishers send them to me, sometimes it's a struggle. But yeah, I thought I'd go back to a previous list. A list that has older books. Some of them are classics, some of them are just older books. And we'll see how many of these books we've read. So today's list comes to us courtesy of high school. I didn't want to use my husband's high school reading list. Their reading list is also really short. But here's a high school reading list, and the recommendation is that their high school students read one of these books. But we're not high school students, most of us anyway. So here's some of these titles. The first is 1984 by George Orwell, which I have read. A Soldier's Play by Charles Fuller, I've never heard of, but no, I haven't read it. All American Boys by Jason Reynolds. I want to read something by Jason Reynolds really soon. I think I've read one of his books in a previous time in my life. When I worked in high schools, I was a tutor, an English tutor in high and middle schools. And some of the books that I read along with my students were books that I can't recall their titles. But I think we read a Jason Reynolds book together. But it's been a while and I don't remember. So I'm going to say I haven't read a book by Jason Reynolds. But maybe All American Boys will be the first one that I try. All Summer Long by Hope Larson, I haven't read, haven't heard of. I have heard of this title, but I've never picked it up. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Sens. I haven't read it. I've heard good things about this book, but I haven't read it. Autobiography of a Face by Lucy Greeley, I have not read. Beauty Queens by Libba Bray, I haven't read. I heard someone rave about this book, but no, I hadn't picked it up. I don't read a lot of YA, but usually the YA books that I pick up I enjoy, so maybe I should read more of them. Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys, I haven't read that one. I read The Fountain of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. I read that with Patrice and Doris and Heidi a few years ago, and I've been meaning to pick up other books by her, but I haven't yet. John Grisham's novel Bleachers, I have not read. I'm going to assume that this is a smaller novel, maybe a shorter length novel because it is for high school students, but I don't know. Brazen Rebel Ladies Who Rock the World by Penelope Bagu, I have not read. Breakthrough, How 3 People Saved Blue Babies and Changed Medicine Forever by Jim Murphy, I have not read. Breakthrough: How One Teen Innovator is Changing the World by Jack and Draka, I have not read. City of Thieves by David Benioff, I have not read. Copper Sun by Sharon Draper, I have not read. Sharon Draper is another author that I want to read more of. She wrote that book, Monster, is that correct? I think I read that with my students, again, back in the before, but I want to read more from this author. David Tongue Can't Have a Girlfriend Until He Gets into an Ivy League College by Ed Lynn. That's a kind of catchy title, but no, I haven't read it. Dear Martin by Nick Stone, I've been meaning to read, haven't read. Elena Vanishing by Elena Dunkel, I have not read. Fake ID by Lamar Giles. A lot of these are YA books that I haven't read. So, Fake ID by Lamar Giles, no for me. Feed by M.T. Anderson, no for me. Fences by August Wilson. August Wilson's plays are, I think, very easy to get into because of their length. I watched the Fences movie a few years ago when Denzel Washington and Viola Davis played the lead characters, but I haven't read the book. Girls on the Line by Jenny Liu, I have not read. Hey Kiddo by Janet Krosaka, I have not read. How It Went Down by Kekla Magoon, I have not read. I'm reading this from my computer, and I usually wear my glasses when I'm looking far away. And vanity, guys, vanity. I'm not wearing my glasses right now, but it also means I don't see very well. But no, that's not the reason. I just don't want the glare to be hitting on my glasses the whole time. I Am No Jew by Ali No Jude, I have not read. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, I have read. I really like that book. It was about twins, boy and a girl, and how different they see themselves, how different they are, how other people perceive them, both of them pursuing their passions, their dreams. Remember, one was an artist. They're both artists. That was the thing. They were both artists, but very different kinds of artists. And I loved a lot of things about that book. So if I could recommend a YA book from this list so far, it would be this one. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, a contemporary YA book. Into the Wild by John Krakauer, I have not read. I read Into Thin Air a few years ago and really enjoyed it, and I've been meaning to read more of John Krakauer's books. I think Into the Wild is the next one I'm going to pick up. This one is about hiking, and I love reading about other people going hiking when I'm not going hiking myself, which I haven't gone hiking in a long time. Kindred by Octavia Butler. The graphic novel is the version on this list, but any Kindred version that you read is great. I think that's the only Octavia Butler I've read and I really liked. No, not that I've read others and didn't like them. I've only read one Octavia Butler. It was Kindred and I really liked it. Yeah. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but I think I could read Octavia Butler's books and not care that they were sci-fi. Life of Pi by Yann Martel, I have read. A Long Way Down, another book, Jason Reynolds. I think this is the one that we read together, my students. But Mouse 1 and 2 by Art Spiegelman, I have read. Mudbound by Hilary Jordan, that's a no for me. Nothing Happened by Molly Booth, no for me. On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden, I have not read. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, I have read. This book on this list is Pashmina by Nidhi Chanani, I have not read. Popular by Maya Van Wagenen, I have not read. Royal Pain by Raylene Drake, that's a no for me. Sleeping Freshmen Never Lie by David Lubar, I have not read. Speak by Laurie Halls Anderson, I have not read. I have her book Chains, which I've been meaning to pick up for a long time. Haven't yet read it. Was actually planning to give it away. I may actually have given it away in the halfway shelf purge that has been happening. As you can tell, the shelves are still a mess, so a lot of books have not yet gone the way of the dodo bird. I shouldn't say that. I'm still planning to give away a lot more of these books, just haven't gotten to it yet. I'm really busy these days, guys. I have a toddler who, when she's awake, she needs to be monitored all the time. All the time. Yeah. She's sleeping right now, which is why we're making a video. Next on the list is Stamped by Ibram X. Kendi. I have read, really enjoy. Well, maybe I shouldn't say enjoy. I'm motivated by this author's writings. motivated to change things about my life. And yeah, stamped. The Berlin Boxing Club by Robert Sharinow, I have not read. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, I have read. The Curious Incident of a Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon, I have read. The Field Trip Attack on Earth by R.T. Martin, I have not read. The Glass Castle by Jeanette Wallace. I've owned that copy of that book for the past 6 years or so. Haven't read it. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Am I the only person who still has not yet read Thug? I haven't read it though. The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, I have read. The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch, I have not read. The Last of the Mohicans, James Fenimore Cooper, I haven't gotten to it yet. The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, haven't read. The New David Espinosa by Fred Aceves, I have not read. The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, I have read. The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang, I have not read. The Road by Cormac McCarthy, I have read. The Sacred Lies of Minnow Bly by Stephanie Oakes, I have not read. The Salt Eaters by Tony Cade Bambaro, I have not read. The Unwanted, Stories of the Syrian Refugees by Don Brown, I have not read. These Violet Delights by Chloe Gong, that's a no. Thicker Than Water, Natasha Dean, no. Tomboy, Liz Prince, no. Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom, I have read. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, I read and liked. Unwind by John Schusterman, I have not read. Way Past Cool by Jess Mowry, I have not read. Where the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson, I have not read. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, I have not read. Welcome to 4B by Bryn Kelly, I have not read. When I Was the Greatest by Jason Reynolds. 3 Jason Reynolds books on this list. No, I haven't read it. Wires and Nerve, Volume 1 by Marissa Meyer, I have not read. So yeah, that was a long list of books for teenagers, summer reading list. How many of these have you read? Leave your score in the comments down below. If there's a book on this list that I said I haven't read and you've read it and you think I should read it ASAP, then let me know. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this book list. This is the first in the series of Booklist Thursdays. So I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you'll come back for more of these videos. And until we come back for another one or another kind of video, until we come back. Happy reading. Happy summer. Bye.